They try to capture what they feel when they look at a scene, and what they take away on film is generally only what the camera saw. However, some don't give up easily. Harry Nankin is such a man with his 5x4 camera. He headed for the high country in Victoria, New South Wales and the ACT. His patience over 5 years has produced a gem, a book of words and pictures, but mainly pictures. All right, Harry, why the Alps? Why did you investigate the Alps?
Well, I've been in love with all natural landscape subjects all my life. In 1983, I was commissioned by the Australian Conservation Foundation to prepare a book, an educational book about the Victorian section of the Alps. And in undertaking that book, I really became inspired. I grew to love the entire alpine region right across southeastern Australia.
Well, look at some of the pictures now, Harry, because that's what the book is about. I must say that they're some of the best, if not the best, pictures of Australia I've seen. Now, I'm happy to look at it. Are you a happy man with the book?
Yes, I think I'm pleased with it overall, yes.
That's very understated, Harry. I mean, you spent 5 years out there saying, yes, I feel good. I mean, did you have to leave some gems out, did you?
Yes, there's always a few photographs that I had to edit out, but after 5 years' work, in some ways, a book is slightly an anticlimax to all the effort, but it's certainly satisfying.
Oh, well, tell me a typical day. A lot of it's in the snow. Now, I imagine you have to take a tripod and your film and your camera and all the bits and pieces. Is it just you?
Sometimes. Usually in the summer I go by myself, but in the winter for logistical and safety reasons I usually go with other people, one or two other people, who fortunately help carry the equipment. I will go into a base camp area, usually several kilometres from the nearest road. Pre-planned, I go there with a specific idea of what sort of conditions I'm likely to encounter, and set up my tent, set up my gear, and stay several days, taking some photographs spontaneously and others I plan, depending on the light, depending on the weather conditions. In some cases, the images are planned days ahead.
You make it all sound so simple, but of course it isn't. I mean, why are they so good?
Well, it's hard for me to answer.
No, fair enough. No, I mean, the point is you've seen a lot of photographs. Why are yours so good? What have you done right? Is it just the patience?
I think partly the equipment. I think partly choosing a large format camera with large format transparencies produces high resolution, very high level of control over the image. I'm very careful with exposure. I use a modified zone system, modified for colour that is, in order to achieve the total control, or as close to total control as I can over the final image. And compositionally, I spent a lot of time planning the image, working out the best framing of an image, waiting for the right moment where the light is just right, and exposing accordingly.
Now, people look for messages in books. Is there some crusade that you're trying to push with this book on the Alps?
Certainly. I'm not really a crusader, but I certainly have a message, and that message is loving, caring, protecting the natural world as a whole, and in particular places like the Australian Alps.
The joy is, Harry, is you're not an old man, which means if we get better as we go on, in 20 years' time, if it's possible, you're going to produce even better things. So, in the meantime, what's your next book? I mean, you're an active man.
Well, at the moment, I'm about to embark on a book of photographs of south coast of Australia. Well, I say a book. In fact, that's the long-term intention, but in the short term, just a series of images, a portfolio of images. And further afield, I hope to go to, or back to, Fiordland, New Zealand, which has been a favourite subject of mine for many years, and hopefully next year to the United States to photograph in North America.
Well, Harry, I congratulate you again. I think it's a truly fabulous book, no matter where it was set in the world, and I think you should feel pretty terrific if you didn't do anything else in your life.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for coming in. Harry Nankin, the book is available. It's called Range Upon Range, the Australian Alps, and it's probably the best stuff that's been photographed in Australia. We'll have more on Newsworld after this.